Okay, welcome back, everyone. As we welcome you back to our Motzei Shabbos marathon, and it's not just any Motzei Shabbos. It's a Motzei Shabbos as we enter into Pesach, which is absolutely incredible. All of you are coming to join us from the four corners of the globe on this very challenging time to learn. I will not be choshed anybody that anybody is coming here just because they're trying to escape their wives' jobs. I know that nobody would do that. That nobody would run away to Tannersville, and no one would escape to North Carolina. You know what I mean? Nobody would do anything like that. But Eddie, when are you going home?
I'm actually in Mexico City with my family.
Oh, your family is there with you. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. I understand. They also have to be on the lam. Okay, I understand that. The situation is getting worse, and he had to run away with his family. Mexico City. By the way, don't believe for a minute he's in Mexico City. That's just what he says, He's really, I think he's in Cuba. But welcome, everyone. As we continue now with the words of Chizkiah. Gufa, Amar Chizkiah. Meiser she'ein by shava pruta. Meiser that doesn't have a value of a pruta, like a grape. It doesn't have a value of a pruta. Aimer huva chumshai, it and its chaimish, even though we learned out from the pasuk, gal yigal mimasroi, that you cannot redeem the Meiser sheni by itself, but you could add it to room that you deconsecrated other stuff already on coins. You could say, Aimer hu v'chumshay, it, and the surcharge of the fifth, mechulul al mois rishaynis, should be mechulul on other money that I put other meiser sheni upon, because I left room. He can't be exact when he puts his meiser on money, so he left room, a little extra room, so he could put it on that extra room. Now let me explain to you now, as a preface to the subject that we're talking about. There's a concept that you could be mavatal things. Sometimes you could be mavatal b'roiv, with the majority. Other times, if it's something that's harder to neutralize, you could be mavatal it 100-1. But if something is a davar sheyesh lo matirin, if it's something that you could work out a way to use it without needing to come on to bittul, because bittul is a leniency. So if there's another way to get yourself, to extract yourself from the problem, then we say it's a davar sheyesh lo matirin va'afilu be'elef lo batal. It's not even batal than 1,000. Now that's going to be an issue when we say we want to be mevatel meiser sheni. Let's say meiser sheni falls into chulin, so we want to be mevatel it. But why be mevatel it? You could bring it to Yerushalayim and eat it, the whole thing. There's no need to be mevatel. So then it becomes a davar sheyesh lo matirin, and a davar sheyesh lo matirin afilu be'elef lo batal. So now let's see it inside. Meisvei, hatruma v'abikurim, truma, which is the 1/50th that's given to the kayin, and the first fruits. If a non-kayin eats it, chayovin alei misa. There's misa b'dei shemayim, death at the hands of heaven. The chaymesh, and if a non-kayin eats it inadvertently, he has to repay it, and a fifth. V'asurim l'zarim, It's forbidden to a non-kain. V'hein nichsei kain, they're the property of a kain, therefore he could be mekadesh a woman with it. V'oilam be'echad u'meya, and it's neutralized 100 to 1. U'tu'unin rechitzas yadayim, and if you want to eat it, you have to wash your hands. V'herev shemesh, and if you get tameh, it's not enough to go to the mikveh, but you have to wait until the setting of the sun. Harei elu b'truma b'kurim, this is true by truma and b'kurim. Masha ein came b'maisa, which it's not true by maisa. It's not true by maisa. Now, my masha ein came b'maisa. What do we mean, masha ein came b'maisa? Doesn't it mean that by maisa you don't need to neutralize it 100 to 1, but you can neutralize it b'raiv? Ma says the lav michlal the maisa you don't need 100 to 1. It's batal beruba. It's batal b'raiv. But wait a second. I don't understand. You could deconsecrate it. V'im isa the chizkiah, if we hold of chizkiah, now we'll say that what kind of ma'aser is sheni is it talking about? You could always eat it in Yerushalayim. So it must be that it's tameh. But even if it's tameh, so you can't eat it, but you could deconsecrate it. So it must be talking about where it's tameh and it's less than a pruta, because we said less than a pruta you can't deconsecrate. So therefore, that's why it's a davar she'ein lo matirin. But v'im yisa the chesked, you could deconsecrate it even if it's less than a pruta. Havalei davar she'ein lo matirin. You have another eitzah, you don't have to neutralize it. You redeem it. The kol davar she'ein lo matirin afilu be'elef lo batal. It can't be neutralized even 1,000 to 1. Says the Gemara, well, maybe when it says Masha Ein Kein B'Maiser, it's not talking about bittul. Maybe it means the other way around. Masha Ein Kein B'Maiser means the batal beruba. Maybe Masha Ein Kein B'Maiser means that Maiser can't be batal at all, because it's a davar she'ein lo matirin. Dilma lo batal klal. Instead of 100 to 1, by Ma'aser Sheni, since it's a davar she'ein lo matirin, it can't be batal at all. So the Gemara says, "Lo matzah samrit hachi." You can't learn that pshat, because we're talking about chumras of truma, not kulas of truma. The lagabe truma chumrei de truma ketani, that there's a chi of misa, that it needs setting of the sun. Kulei de truma like ketani. It doesn't say leniencies of truma. Says the Gemara, that's not true. It does say a leniency by truma. It says truma is rishus kayin, and it could be mekadosh an issue with it. Ma'ashen ke ma'aser sheni is mam and gavaya. You can't. Says Gemara, v'katani v'hein nichsei kayin. So you see, it does say kulas. So maybe, and chumras of ma'aser sheni. So maybe when it says over here, it doesn't mean that it's batal b'raiv, but it means that it can't be batal at all. It can't be batal at all because it can't be batal at all because it's davar she'ein lo matirin. So Gemara says that would be nice, but that's not what it means, because it's a beferish brisa that says v'akatan. It says Gemara lo yisal gedaitach the Tanya behedya ma'aser sheni batal beruba. Now, be'ezah ma'aser sheni amru, what ma'aser sheni could be batal b'raiv? It's a davar she'ein lo matirin. You could take the whole mixture up to Yerushalayim and eat it in Yerushalayim. B'ma'aser she'ein by shava pruta. It's talking about ma'aser that doesn't have a shava pruta, that can't be redeemed. V'shenichnas Yerushalayim b'yotza, and it was taken into Yerushalayim and taken out so that it can't be redeemed. But b'im isa l'dechizkiah, what does it mean? She'ein by shava pruta. You could be mechal b'im isa l'dechizkiah la'avid l'dechizkiah, do nechizkiah's eitzah, v'nechalei al mois rishonis, and put it on other money that he deconsecrated fruit, and because you don't do it exact, so there's left room on that other money. Says Gemara Deloy Parent, he didn't redeem other stuff. So the Gemara says, if he didn't redeem other stuff, I have another eitzah. Let him bring. I have another eitzah. Let him bring another grape, which is worth a half a pruta, and put it together with this half a pruta, and then he'll have a whole pruta, and then he can redeem it. V'neisi ma'isa de islay, let him bring ma'isa that he has, v'nitztra finu, and combine it. Says, no, you can't do that. Because even though a davar sheyesh le matirin, there's no bittul, that's only midrabanan. So midaraisa, it is batul, so it's not ma'isa deraisa, it's only ma'isa derabanan. But this grape that you're bringing is a ma'isa deraisa. Deraisa derabanan loy mitzarfe, that doesn't combine. So the Gemara says, "V'nei say demai." Bring demai. Demai is also derabanan. So bring a grape of demai. So then it'll be derabanan with derabanan. Says Gemara, well, we're afraid that you make a mistake and dilma asila suyevadai. You might bring a grape which is deraisa. So it says the Gemara, "V'neisi shtei prutas." Bring 2 prutas. V'nechalal alayu ma'isa bepruto machza. And put upon them ma'isa of a pruta and a half, and v'nechalal hay al ha'chesera, and put this half on the place that you rested. Says the Gemara, mi savit pruto machza tofsa, mi savit pruto machza tofsa shtei prutas. Do you think that if you bought a pruta and a half, it gets deconsecrated on 2 prutas? No. Like pruta tafsa pruta, a pruta gets the pruta, v'chatzi pruta loy tafsa, but the other half of pruta doesn't go on, because we said you can't redeem half of a pruta. And therefore, again, you would have a situation where you have a half a pruta which is deraisa, and a half a pruta which is derabanan, or derabalei deraisa or derabanan, or deraisa derabanan loy nitztarfei. Says the Gemara, v'naisei iser, bring an iser, and put on it partially, so you have left over. Says the Gemara, we're afraid that you might come to try to do it with prutas, which you can't do, so therefore we don't allow it. Dilma'asi la'asiyeh prutas. Now, 3 lines from the bottom of Nun Gimel Amud Aleph, and now I think I could take your question, Gedalia.
If something is currency and it loses some value, isn't it still the same currency? Why does a currency have to have the intrinsic weight and value?
Because that's what merchants do. They weigh it, and if it doesn't have the silver value, they'll tell you, I'm not accepting it.
But isn't it kind of symbolic?
No. A merchant could, they weighed it, because you see, there was trade in a sheller that was beaten down to a shekel. They sold it as a shekel. So you see, they checked the weight. Now, the Gemara says, "V'shenichnas l'Yerushalayim v'yotza." We said that what kind of a ma'aser sheni that gets mixed in with chulin could be a problem, and that we want to do bittul b'roiv. It's talking about where you brought it into Yerushalayim and took it out of Yerushalayim. So the Gemara says, what's the problem? You brought it into Yerushalayim, took it out of Yerushalayim, bring it back into Yerushalayim. V'amai v'lahadav v'na'aylik. Says the Gemara, no, it's talking about b'shenitma, where it became tamei. Says the Gemara, v'nifrake. So then redeem it. What's the problem? If it became tamei, you should redeem it. Amar Rabbi Lazar, minayin l'ma'aser sheni shenitma. How do you know that ma'aser sheni, if it became tamei, shepoidin oisa, you're allowed to redeem it? Va'afilu b'Yerushalayim. Normally, when are we allowed to redeem fruit of Ma'aser Sheni? When it's outside of Yerushalayim and we have to schlep it up. So therefore, we say, V'tzarta kesef b'yadecha, you can redeem it. If it's already in Yerushalayim, you're not allowed to redeem it, you have to eat it. But if it became Tameh, you could redeem it even in Yerushalayim. Shenemar, because it says, why could you redeem Ma'aser Sheni? Ki lo yisuchal se'esai. Now literally this means because you can't carry so much. But se'es also means to eat it. You're allowed to redeem it if you can't eat it. Ve'ein se'es ala achila, shenemar ve'yisa masas me'es panam. And they gave stipends of food from before his presence. Ella says the Gemara, it's talking about b'lekuach b'kesef ma'aser sheni. It's talking about that it was food, not ma'aser sheni itself, but food bought with money of ma'aser sheni. Food bought with money of ma'aser sheni, that you can't redeem. You can only redeem the actual food. But if you brought up money of Ma'aser Sheni to Yerushalayim and bought food with that money, you can't redeem it. That's not where it says the law of redemption. The redemption is the original food of Ma'aser Sheni, the second tenth in the first, second, fourth, and fifth year of the Shemitah cycle. But if you brought the money that you redeemed the fruit with up to Yerushalayim and brought other food, that you can't redeem. Says the Gemara, you should also be able to redeem it if it became tamei. That which was bought with money of Ma'aser Sheni shenitma, that became tamei, you put it. You're not allowed to redeem it. Says, well, you're right. It's going like Rabbi Yehuda, who says that if it became tamei after you bought it with money of Ma'aser Sheni, you have to bury it. Rabbi Yehuda, Dama, you cover. But this doesn't work either. Because if it's talking about that Michal Avram redeemed his fruit, brought the money to Yerushalayim, bought other fruit, and that fruit became tamei, and it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda that you can't redeem it, then why do you have to say that it was in Yerushalayim and taken out of Yerushalayim? Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda, ma'ir yatsa. Why did it have to be taken out of Yerushalayim? Afilu lo yatsa. It would work even if it wasn't taken out of Yerushalayim. You're not allowed to redeem it. You got to bury it. So the Gemara is really scrounging around to understand what's going on over here. Ela la'ilam b'tahar. It's talking about where we're not talking about where it's tamei, as we welcome back Naphtali Javelin. We're talking about where, that's another thing that people have to know. On the rare eventuality that you have to leave the shir for a short amount of time. So for example, if Eddie needs to get a taco, he's in Mexico, so he has to get a taco for Olav Malka. You have to leave. You could come back. Eddie, we need to see you with a sombrero. You
have to get your arm stamped before you leave?
I don't believe Eddie is in Mexico City. Mexico. That just came to his mind. Mexico City. He's on the run. Yeah. Anyway, we're back to the fact that it was tar. So the Gemara says, "Umay yotza." What does it mean, yotza? It means the nafel mechitzas. It means that what happened is Michal Avram brought Ma'aser Sheni up to Yerushalayim, and then the walls of the old city fell down. So you can't eat it if the walls of the old city fell down. Says the Gemara, but that's a problem. V'amar Rava mechitza lechol is doraisa. To be able to eat, you need mechitzas biblically. Mechitzas liklait derabana. the din that if it's taken out from the mechitzas of Yerushalayim that you're not allowed to redeem it, that's only rabbinical. V'chi gazu Rabbanan, where did the Rabbanan make a decree? Ki isno lo mechitzas, where there's mechitzas around. Ki lesno lo mechitzas, like gazu Rabbanan. So even if the mechitzas came down and he's not allowed to eat it, he should be able to redeem it. Says the Gemara, no, like plug Rabbanan, the Rabbanan didn't make a distinction bein isnu mechitzas, whether there was mechitzas, bein lesnu mechitzas, whether there wasn't. Now, if you remember, we were trying to unravel the case of where we said it was less than a shavapruta, because we had a problem according to Chizkiah. Why can't you redeem the less than a shavapruta on the previous money that you have? So now, Rav Huna bar Yehuda Amar Rav Sheshes, he wants to answer that question with one sweep. Chada Kitani. It actually is all one case. Ma'aser Sheni she'ein bo yishav pruta. Ma'aser Sheni that doesn't have the value of a pruta. Shenichlas Yerushalayim v'yatzid. That was taken into Yerushalayim and taken out. So the Gemara asked, what does that help? Amai v'nahadar v'na'ilei v'nechlei. Bring it back in. Says the Gemara, the nafal mechitzas. The mechitzas fell down. V'nifrikei. You should be able to redeem it. According to Chizkiah, that you could redeem it. Hamarava mechitza lechel daraisa, the din of mechitza to eat, that you can't eat if the mechitzas fell down, that's biblical. Mechitzas liklei to Rabbanan, the din that if it was taken out in mechitzas, you can't redeem it. Once it was Yerushalayim and it was taken out, you can't redeem it. That's only the Rabbanan. V'chigaz Rabbanan ki isno the mechitzas, but ki lesno the mechitzas. If there are no mechitzas, we should say legaz Rabbanan, and he should be able to redeem it. And less than a shav pruta, according to Chizkiah, he should be able to redeem on the place that he has left off on his other money. So the Gemara says loy plug Rabbanan. The Rabbanan didn't make a distinction. Iachi my area ain't by shav pruta. You could say the case is talking about even if there is a shav pruta. Says, I feel a yesh by nami. Says, we're building up to a climax. That if there is a mechitza, the kol mechitza is the fact that the mechitza fell down. You're not allowed to redeem it. But if it doesn't have a pruta, I might say, the walls did not was not kailit, and therefore you should be able to redeem it. Kamash malon that you can't. So now, finally, the Gemara gets up to how we know that you're not allowed to redeem less than a pruta. Tan Rabbanan, im go yigal ish mimasrei. If a person redeems from his meiser, mimasrei, you can only redeem from his meiser. V'loi kol meiser, you can't redeem all of your meiser. Prat la meiser sheni she'ein bo yishav pruta. If it's only a grape and it doesn't have a shav pruta, you can't deconsecrate it. Itmar. Rav Ami Omer Ein Bay means that it doesn't have a Shava Pruta. Rav Asi Omer Ein B'chumshay. Oh, this is a bigger chumrah. That even if it's 3 grapes, and it has the value of a Pruta, but since it won't have a 5th, the 5th won't be a value of a Pruta, you can't redeem it. Rav Asi Omer Ein B'chumshay. Rabbi Yochanan is the one that says Ein Bay. Rab Shimon ben Lakish Amar Ein B'chumshay, even if the surcharge is not a Shava Pruta. Meisvei, Ma'aser Sheni she'ein bo Shava Pruta, a Ma'aser Sheni that is not a Shava Pruta, Dayai, it's enough, she'yomer hu v'chumshay mechulal al Ma'aser Rishonos. It's enough to say that it in its 5th should be deconsecrated on original money that you have, because you're not mitzamtzim with Ma'aser Sheni. So Bishloim Lamanda Amar Ein B'chumshay, that it's even if there isn't in its 5th a Shava Pruta. Haino Diktanu Dayai, it's enough. In other words, Chizkiah said his statement where it itself isn't a Shava Pruta, and he said it even if it is a Shava Pruta, but its surcharges. The afal gav the b'didei isbei, even though it has a pruta, kevan the b'chum shaleka, since its fifth doesn't have a pruta, you're allowed to use Chizkiya's way and put it on the extra. But according to Man Yama, that's only one case, and that's where it itself is not a Shava Pruta. Then my daya, what do you mean it's enough Chizkiya's way? Chizkiya said his statement for that case. So the Gemara says, Kasha, that's taka a difficult. Rabbi say, we will, tomorrow night, every night is a different challenge. Tomorrow night is Leil B'dika. Well, that's not a challenge, it's a beautiful thing. So tomorrow night we announced, I announced 9:15. Should I make it 9:30 instead, or leave it at 9:15? What does the Ilam think? Huh?
We're doing one or two.
One. Okay, I think we're going to do it 9:30. I think giving the people a little bit more time is better. 9:30. Also, Rabbi said we're going to do the Mishnah Yomis now, so don't even think of going anywhere.